I have my. Welcome everyone to Never Alone Live. Strap in and buckle up because we are going to have a good time today. I'm so excited. We have, as usual, Krista, the sober Barbie. I'm Johnny, and our friend Amanda. Amanda, who is a longtime friend of Never Alone Live. You've been on here a few times.
Yeah, this is my third time.
You're third. You're on here more than I am. That's awesome. And we are joined here by your sisters. You want to introduce your sisters?
Yeah, so we have Valeen here. She's my older sister. And then we have Tiffany here. She's my little sister. And all three of us got loaded together. And now we're all sober together.
Yeah. Okay. So, I was thinking a lot about this. So 12 years ago, right? 12 years ago, you guys went on Dr. Phil. And you went on Dr. Phil and just came out and said it all. And, talked about your addiction, talked about your disease, talked about everything. You know what? I want to say that you guys are kind of like the originator of Recover Out Loud, right? This was before, the Recover Out Loud movement was enormous. And you guys were out on Dr. Phil just straight up saying, yep, here we are.
Yeah. And pretty much blasted our addiction, you know what I mean? And our deepest, darkest secrets. And not really knowing that we were going to go to treatment, but we didn't know what was going to happen next. But yeah, so we are truly a success story, and all three of us are heroin addicts, and we're all still alive, which is, thank God,
It's crazy though, because I don't think that we did it intentionally. We went into this, I don't think grasping fully what was going to happen at all.
We just wanted treatment. We don't come from money, and we didn't have health insurance. And we knew going on there, that's all we were thinking about, is that we would go to treatment. We totally missed the part of hey, the whole world is about to see all of this happening.
I have no idea why I told him the truth about everything. Literally everything. I have no clue.
Dr. Phil just pulls it out of you, right?
Oh no. This is before we met him.
Yeah.
They were very honest.
I was so honest. I told way more stuff than I ever would want the whole world to know about me, ever.
And he asked really hard questions, and they answered it. I would have curled up in a little ball and cried. I probably
I think I was super high.
We were high.
I was very high.
So you were high while you were on Dr. Phil, while you're coming clean.
He asked him that too.
They followed us around for a few days beforehand with the camera guy, with the mic and all that. So we were just doing drugs.
Flew to Hollywood. Yeah, we flew to Hollywood with drugs because we would be sick if we didn't have anything. So we needed to get high. And so then we all did our last shot right before before we went into the studio.
Yeah,
that's wild. That's wild. Mm-hmm. All right, so let's talk. Let's go around. Valeen, what was this experience like for you to go on Dr. Phil to talk about it, just and being blunt and honest?
I think that I had a whole made up life. And I had all these lies because I was constantly trying to get something from everybody around me, and everything was made up, and my whole life was based around drugs. So going and then doing this, and then everybody knowing everything about me, it was, when I woke up in treatment, I just remember I was dope sick, and I remember thinking, what the hell did I just do? I don't even think I could take in what just happened. And, and then after that, everybody knew everything about me. And to be honest, I think it was a blessing in disguise, because then I had no more secrets anymore, and there was nothing anybody could say that was going to, be worse than what I already just said about myself. and really accepting that. And then I had a lot of people reach out to me, saying how powerful it was. And people were showing up at the treatment center I was at saying that they watched the episode, and that's how like their parents sent them there. Or that happened probably like 7 times while I was in there for 5 months, 6 months. So it happened a lot. And that was like the reward was, and I was getting my life back. Was it a little shameful? Yes.
Tiffany, same question to you. What was your experience like with all this?
So when we got the call that we were going on Dr. Phil, I just got out of jail. So I was in shock, but I just wanted all of us to get help, because if one of us would get sent away and then we'd come right back and start using again because the other 2 are still using. It was just like hard. But then I got out of jail and I was much heavier in weight and I had pimples all over my face, and I was like, oh my God, we're about to go on national television and spill all of our shit. And so I was kind of just like in shock. And then when we went on stage and did that whole thing, it was still just like surreal. Like, is this really happening? And then same, like I woke up in treatment just like, what the hell just happened? I was just more like in shock. Like it just wasn't real.
This is so wild. So millions of people saw you guys on Dr. Phil. That millions of people, right? And he's a very popular show. How did and we'll start with you, man, because I don't think we asked this question. How did you feel after knowing that millions of people saw you kind of at your worst?
Well, I was like really secretive about it. Like I lived like a double life, like a lot. I feel like, I like hid it for a long time. So when I knew that was going to happen, the guilt, the shame, everything was like kicking in. And then the show aired in November when we were all in treatment. So I watched it, and it's like TV, right? I lived through it and I was on the stage and it was bad. We didn't realize how bad it was till we got on the stage, and my parents, like Dr. Phil's yelling at my parents, like, and everything that happened. That's all I remembered, but I was also high. So like when I lived, I was like, whoa, that was traumatic. But then when I watched it and saw how, like, I only watched it twice ever in my life. But when I watched it the first time I was in treatment with like all the staff and everything, watched it, and it was worse than I thought because, my parents did their interviews. I didn't get to hear what they like said secretly. I didn't get to hear what my sister said secretly, like, in the interviews. And it was just really, really bad. So I was just like so fearful. But then like Valeen said, I started getting all these in my Facebook, everybody in my town was sharing like the one little clip, and I got like probably like I opened up when I got my phone back, I had like 500 messages in Facebook of all these people like rooting for you and just like you know what I mean? And then I was just like, okay. And I was going through it with them. I wasn't like alone in it. And, so that's why it felt like, better. And then everybody started opening up, messaging me about like, oh, my brother's going through this, or like, hey, I'm going through this. And so then that's like what we talked about. It just became like, okay, whoa, this is happening everywhere. You know what I mean? And like, it is like my superpower now. Like, what am I going to do with this? And, that's when like the recovery journey, like really like took off. But of course, guilt, shame, and like everything. 'Cause it's just like cringy that like that, you know what I mean? Like this wasn't supposed to be our lives. Right. And like it was happening because it could happen to anyone, but you don't ever think it's going to happen to you.
So we know a bit of Amanda's story. So Amanda came on here and told us that you guys, Valeen and Tiffany, you guys were the troublemakers. She was the good girl, right? And now here I'm quite. This is me asking, is that true?
Usually what the middle child says.
Was that how it went down? I mean, we need.
It's actually kind of true. It's actually kind of true.
It's kind of true. Okay.
Yeah, but she's just a lot better at hiding it.
Oh,
Okay, like that's,
you
yeah,
got it.
she's a lot better at hiding it. I am always outwardly just, spazzy.
Shit show.
Got it.
Mhm.
What's the age differences between you guys?
I'll be 39 next week.
Yeah. So we're all 2 years apart because this year, I'll be 37. I'm 36 right now. And then Tiffany is
34. And then I'll turn 35.
So you guys partied together, and you guys were probably each other's best friends and worst enemies when you're out there partying. And then you get the opportunity to all go into recovery together. Was it kind of the same thing? You're the best friends and the worst enemies as well? And
Yeah.
We're
Valeen, I'll
sisters.
give that to you, Valeen. That's
We're sisters. I feel like we always, I don't know, if you have sisters, we fight with each other, always and forever. There's no dishonesty. If we are upset with each other, we let each other know. But we recover very quickly from it. We don't stay mad at each other. And we've been through a lot together. So they'll always be my best friends and my biggest op at the same time, my sisters.
Well, I mean, because you guys growing up together, you get a different camaraderie than people that you might just meet at the rooms. I mean, it's you've all gone through a struggle together, but growing up together, it's just different. Because I've got multiple siblings that don't know all the dirt on me, and it's they know everything, and so they're quick to throw a judgment out or throw something else out or poke at me when I need to be poked at. So that had to help a little bit in recovery, right?
I always tell people that my sisters could probably shoot me in the leg and I would still text them happy birthday. Like that's, like that's how I'll describe my relationship with them.
Yeah. So Tiffany, what do you think about that? What was it like going to treatment? You guys all went to the same treatment together. No, wait, back up. So tell me what happened after you went on Dr. Phil. After you went on Dr. Phil, what happened after that?
They sent me to an island in
separate
Texas.
us.
Yeah.
Because I was the ringleader.
Yeah. And I went to Orange County, California to treatment. And Tiffany, they sent her to Orange County, California too. But we went to, all three of us went to different treatment centers. And they told us we were not allowed to talk to each other for some time and be around each other. You need to separate is what they said to us. Yeah.
We weren't allowed to talk for 6 months, 7 months.
Yeah. But of course we text each other and stuff like that. You know what I mean? And then Tiffany, my treatment center, they took me to a meeting and I saw Tiffany there at the meeting and I was like, oh my God, and then staff found out and then they wouldn't allow me to ever go back to that meeting that she would go to. And they would send me to a different meeting. So, but yeah, they wanted us to be separate because, I guess it's true. It was a toxic relationship with all three of us of getting high together, and all it took for us is if one bad day, we would be dude, let's just go get high right now. Do you know what I mean? That's what we did, together.
Yeah.
So it was smart.
Codependency.
Yeah.
With each other.
So codependent. My mom too.
Yeah.
So yeah, we were all super sick together.
Yeah.
See, I don't get it. I mean, I understand you guys use together and you got to kind of separate, people, places, and things. But you also are probably each other's best cheerleaders, right? And you push each other on. And I mean, for recovery for me, that's the big thing that we do. The tiki-taki in the morning, love that, and we get to be cheerleaders for everybody that comes in, and I can see you guys being great cheerleaders for each other, but maybe not initially.
Yeah, not
not
at
We needed to
first.
initially.
heal on our own.
Yeah, we needed to heal on our own. But then, like, as like I said, once we got our phones back, we all text and like talk to each other on the phone, but we just like couldn't like see each other, and that was like okay, you know.
So, Amanda, you went to treatment and have stayed sober ever since. And
Yes.
and then now you guys have had issues since then, and you didn't stay sober right away.
No.
No.
So what happened? Dr. Phil didn't fix you.
Take it away, Tiff.
Take it away, Tiff.
So after Dr. Phil, I was sober for a little while, and I was still very sick mentally. So I did start smoking weed again when I was in California, and then I moved back to New Jersey, and I had one more run at it. I had a meth run, and then I had another heroin run. And then that's when I called Valeen, who was in Texas, and that's when I went to treatment again. And that was the last time I done heroin. So it was more like I left in my own devices. I retreated back into my old ways, and I sat there like, how did I get here again? But I wasn't done, you know, like even with going on national television, going to treatment, it just I wasn't ready. So then I had a few more runs at it, and then now this time, I mean, I haven't done hard drugs in years, but I couldn't stop smoking weed this last time. So now that's why I'm sober a little over 2 months, because I finally put it down and made the jump to sober Sally.
Well, I mean, there's a difference, right? There's a lot of people that are Cali sober. There's a lot of people that are 100% abstinent. There's people on mat. There's people, it's different strokes for different folks. You got off the hard stuff, and tried a few other ways.
Well, that was the thing, like being Cali sober.
Uh-oh, she's breaking up on us. She breaking up on anybody else or just me?
Yeah, me too.
You're breaking up. You're breaking up, Tiff. No.
Look, someone in the comments, Rochelle, says, "I'm from California, but not California sober." That's kind of funny. All right, so Val, tell me your story. What happened?
Oh my God. Okay. I got a year sober, and then I started smoking weed, drinking occasionally. I got pregnant with my daughter. So I was sober again until I had her. And then, mentally I was unwell, but there wasn't really any consequences that were super terrible. It's not the same as like when I was, doing heroin. So I just kind of rode that out for a while, and not really but very unwell mentally. And then in 2021, it was right after all the shutdowns, COVID. And I was a manager in a restaurant, and I started working a lot of hours. And then the thought creeped in, I should, take some Adderall. That'll help this. And then within, I don't know, 6 months, I was doing meth. It just took one person to say, "Do you want to do some meth?" And I said, "Well, sure." I was super afraid to do heroin because I just feel like in my brain, I told myself that if I ever did heroin again, that's it. That's what I sell my soul for. I did meth for about, I don't know, 7 months, I think. And I had every consequence known to man. It was an actual nightmare. And so then I haven't done hard drugs since 2021, but I would drink or smoke weed occasionally. And so that stopped December 4th, 2024. So now I've just been sober Sally, as Tiff would say.
Love that. Amanda, so how did it feel for you, getting sober? You guys all went through this experience. Well, went through a lot of experiences, but then you go through the Dr. Phil experience. You get sober right off the giddy up, and then you see your sister struggling. How did that make you feel?
Well, at first, like in the very beginning, you know, I'm like, oh, this is cool. We all have the same sobriety date. Like, like this is awesome. And then once Tiffany, like, I found out like she was smoking weed because that, like, I think she maybe lasted like almost 6 months sober. And, you know, I was just kind of like, oh, damn, you know, but like, I don't know. I was like, okay, maybe this will work for her if that's all she's doing. Like, try not to be like judgmental. And then when Valeen, after like a year sober, because she was like, we started really talking about, you know, like we were both in a 12-step program, really like relating that, talking, sharing our like recovery. And then she was like, I'm not gonna, you know, be sober anymore. I was like pretty like bummed out. But again, like I was just trusting, like I truly didn't know like what worked. You know what I mean? Like if they wanted to drink a little bit and smoke weed, I was just like, okay, whatever. But then, and it wasn't like causing issues in their lives, right? And then obviously when the big things happen and, you know, back on heroin and like smoking meth, then I was like, I find myself like, you know, I know all the things. I know, you know, that I can't fix anyone, get anyone sober, but like I found myself like everything went out the window, like screaming, like, you need to get help. You're going like all like, it's just like everything went out the window. So I was definitely bummed, you know, but trying to be supportive still and not trying to like judge. And, but yeah, it was hard, you know, because I just knew that if they just stay sober, like none of this, like this wouldn't happen, right? Because we get this like freedom. We know what it feels like. We want everyone to feel it. So I wanted them to feel it, right? But also, I know that you can't, I couldn't push it on them. But we would get in fights for sure. And then they would feel like they couldn't come to me because it was, I'm already sober. Like I have it easy. Like they don't know, I don't know the struggle anymore because I'm already doing it. Right. But so it was just like hard, you know, but I feel like we navigated it pretty well and like constantly we're like supporting each other. Cause like, again, like you said, Johnny, like we are each other's like biggest cheerleaders. I mean, and I can talk shit and say whatever I want to them. They can do that to me too. But like, if you two talked shit about them, I'd fight you both. You know what I'm saying? Like that's just how it goes with us. So like it was definitely hard for me because I wanted them to be sober so bad, but they just needed to figure it out themselves. And they did, you know, for now.
And it's so hard. It's so hard, you know, because so from my own personal experience, I have family members that, you know, have found recovery. And, you know, my little sister, who I love more than anything, her and her husband, it was our big party is Christmas Eve, right? And they missed Christmas Eve because they were too drunk. And the next day I get the call and I lost my shit and I went crazy and I'm yelling and screaming and you missed Christmas, you know, and but that led to I dropped both of them off at detox the next day, and they both have been sober for 7 years. But I got out of it right after that. I took them to detox and then sent them to meetings where I had friends. I knew that I could not get them sober, keep them sober. I could give them a push, but that was about it, you know. And dealing with family is like that. Dealing with family is hard, you know.
I tried to fight Tiffany.
Like, got to deal with family. I know her family.
Yeah, I tried to fight Tiffany like 3 times, I think, when I caught her.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. But I got to the point where I would hide it, and then Valeen would see me, and then she would ask me and be like, dude, are you back on drugs? And I wouldn't even lie anymore. I would just be like, yeah. And she'd look at me like, oh shit, I wasn't expecting you to tell me the truth. So yeah.
You know, dealing with family is the toughest. Krista, you want to talk on this one?
Well, I can't speak a lot on what's going on with my family, but I have 2 sisters too, and one's a normie and one thinks I can't speak on it, but I know what it's like to love somebody who is struggling and you can't recover for them. My husband struggled quite a bit, and I kind of can relate to Amanda. Like, I got it, you know, and I tried to do what I could for him. And then I think I tried to recover for him was the thing. And then he relapsed, and I was like, you're married to sober Barbie. Like, how could you relapse? And it was just like a whole thing. And but everything goes out the window. Everything goes out the window when it's family.
Out the window.
Like, I can
Yeah.
help the stranger down the street, but when it's like someone you love, it's like literally everything goes out the window when you're trying to be compassionate and whatever, you know. And it's hard. It really is. But once they get it, it's cool to have somebody in your corner that you can talk to and understands like the whole recovery part, and you want to heal together, you know, you want to be better. And I love that you guys are like a triple superpower now, you know. It's pretty cool.
It all boils down to like-mindedness, and you know, we have the like-minded experience of using, but when you have the like-minded experience of being raised together and learning and playing together as children, and then you know, you've got it all expands, it all becomes bigger, and you know, and it's a beautiful thing. I know it is between my sister, my brother-in-law now, and you know, we have a shared thing. And my grandmother was the person that got me sober. She was 26 years sober when I came in. She never went to a meeting with me. She never, she sent me to her girls, and my first meeting was me and a bunch of old ladies. But she never went to a meeting with me, and she knew that she couldn't get me sober, but she could be a cheerleader for me. And she rooted me on, and she was the greatest. And I love that you guys have each other. Even though I have a question, Amanda, who would win in a fight between Tiffany and Valeen?
I mean, honestly, it's like hard because Tiff, like, I feel like has like the strength, but Valeen, like, she's very scrappy and like psycho. Like,
she has like she has the crazy,
she has like the crazy in her, you know. So it would definitely be a close call for sure.
I think Tiff's stronger than me now.
Yeah.
That's my favorite question of this conversation today. That was unscripted, and
It's a good question.
I'm getting a little older now, you know, a little older.
Well, a little older, a little wiser. So what do you do now? What do you do now to keep your sobriety? And who wants Tiff, we're gonna go with you first.
So currently right now I'm kind of raw dogging it. I know that I should be more intertwined with the program. I mean, I'm a workaholic, so I work a lot. And so I started when I first got sober a couple months ago. I was like, I dove deep into it, but then we got to the 4-step and I kind of like, you know, shut down. And I'm fully aware because avoidance is one of my main patterns that I hold on to. So I know right now that I need to reach out to my sponsor and finish this 4-step and do a 5th step. So it's just me swallowing my pride and getting back into the mix. But currently right now I work out. I try to stay positive, like do affirmations, and I go the spiritual route, and I just like, it's a lot in my mind, but I do need to like jump back into the program, get some relief, because I'm kind of raw dogging it at the moment.
Nice. We hashtag, make sure we put hashtag raw dog in there. We want to come up on all the Google. When somebody puts that in Google, we want this to pop up. So,
yeah.
Yeah, right.
Ellie, what do you do? What's your recovery like now?
So I've been in therapy weekly for like 3.5 years. I just got back into the program, so I've been going to meetings again for a few months. I try to go at least like once a week. You know, I have a sponsor. I journal. I read a lot before bed. I do I work out. I do a lot of different things. I try to meditate at least like 4 times a week. I'm one of those like freak shows that like in the beginning I did anything that I thought would help, and then anything that sticks, I don't have it in like I don't have it in a routine, but I do them regularly, you know? So I just be doing all sorts of stuff because I have to. Sometimes I wake up very mad because I'm real tired of doing all this stuff, but I have to remember why I'm doing it. You know,
And you also sniper in on tiki-taki meetings.
just creeping.
Just creeping.
Just creeping.
It was, I'm going to tell this to everybody. So we had our first conversation the other day to talk about what we were going to talk about. And it was just us, the two of us on the call initially. And she says, I kind of like, I know ya. Like, what? What do you mean? I know ya. Because comes into the meeting but doesn't come in and talk to us.
Well, because, okay, I'm getting ready for work, or I'm at the gym, or I'm at work, or I'm driving to work. So in that time frame, I have a lot of activities. So I'll comment a little, go birds or something like that. And then I keep going.
You got more excuses than anybody.
I got a lot going on.
Is this the way?
And I'm a mother.
I see honesty. Not
There's a lot.
I can't come up with that. I'm walking the dog and I'm doing this and I got this and I got this. Okay, I'm good with it. I'm just busting your chops. But and Amanda never comes on our tiki-taki. I think these guys should come and take over the tiki-taki.
Okay, we're on like a different time.
It's like 7 a.m.
Yeah, and I'm getting the kids ready for school and taking them to school.
It doesn't matter what I say right now because
I got their back.
There's too many women in here right now.
I'm the fourth sister.
Yes, over party.
I'm actually the oldest. I'll be 40 this year, so I run this. I got it.
So we're gonna kind of pivot, right? I want to talk about the Recover Out Loud movement, and because you guys are all influencers, and first you got on Dr. Phil, where you were seen by millions and millions of people, but now you guys are on the Instagram and Facebook and all this other stuff, and you post a lot about your recovery. You post a lot about life. What's that like? What does that look like for you guys? Amanda, I'll start with you.
I feel like I just like do it. I'm like a huge Recover Out Loud, person, because I know for me, like, it's just like I need to see people that are actually doing it, that can do it, and it is possible. So like I hold on to that. So, but yeah, like, again, like I said, it's just like my superpower now, and I just like to share with others, like, the struggles and like the good things, and then the still struggling, like sober, life isn't perfect, things still happen, so I think that's like why I do it. I don't like every time we all post together, or we post, like I don't do it like for the views. I don't ever look at the numbers or anything like that. It's just because like I just do it because I just like to, and like it's just like it's kind of like fun for me, and I get a lot of messages. I've sponsored women like across the country, like just like it's just super cool to do and to carry a message. And I feel like you guys, like we just all have a story, to share. So like, why not? And plus, again, like people seeing that the bad part on Dr. Phil, it's just like good to share now. Like, hey, like look at what happened. Like this is where we're at now. And especially when we're all together and we just like make videos together, because it's just like we have really dark sense of humor, and a lot of people relate to that, and it's just like, and then a lot of people don't, and then they just hate, and that's okay too, but yeah, it's just a cool thing to do now, but aside like from that, I do stuff like outside privately. I don't film like everything, I do work a 12-step program. I do sponsor a lot of people. I do speak at treatment centers and like all these like other things. I just like don't like film like a lot of that. That's just like my like real, like, some things, it just whatever I want to put out there, I do, but I think it's just,
Absolutely.
again, to share.
Absolutely. We had a conversation this morning on live stream, and the topic was we turn our pain into purpose.
Yes.
And I would love to hear what you guys think about that, especially having you guys have so much different times in sobriety or in different stages of your journey. What does that mean to you, Valeen? What does turning pain into purpose mean?
I feel like the vibe with all three of us, none of us can lie, and we just like say things, I can't stop myself from being me, and I carried around all this pain, like, losing custody of my daughter, losing a lot of friends, family problems, marital problems, all these things, right? And then I find that when I talk about these things, not even just like, online, but in real life, that most people unfortunately will relate to something you got going on in some way, shape, or form, or they know somebody. And I think that's what's giving me purpose.
That's
And
amazing.
it's a lonely, being in pain. It's lonely. It's so lonely, and it's so isolating. And it's just, and then you talk to somebody who gets it, or somebody hears what you're saying, or somebody feels comfortable enough to tell me what they got going on, because I'm open about my pain. And I think that's like where my purpose lies.
Yeah, and that's a beautiful thing. And this is where, it's more than just recovery from alcohol and drugs. It's from mental health. It's from life. We all have traumas. We all have things we're going through now. And when we recover out loud, we're not just recovering from substance. We're recovering from what's going on in here. The depression, anxiety, mental health stuff is just something that we all need to be talking about all the time, I think. And because that's truly what helps people the most. And hey, I'm broken, and just saying that I'm broken, that helps somebody, because they get to say, oh shit, I'm broken too, and which is amazing.
Exactly.
And I love that. Tiffany, what do you think about all this pain into purpose, recover out loud stuff?
So I'm more of a closed book when it comes to that kind of stuff. I mean, like I talk to my sisters about it, or my friends, but like I'm not online saying all of my stuff. Where I'm starting to get a little more comfortable with it, and because I do have a crazy story on me, because I was insane when I was in active addiction, and I was very impulsive, and I did a lot of weird, dumb shit. So it's more of me just getting more comfortable in it. I mean, with my real life and friends and like people I meet on a daily basis, like I do, like, if a conversation, I will say something random and they look at me like, what the hell? Like, I didn't know that you had a past like that. So it does, I do make it relatable to people that I meet in real life. It's just now getting more comfortable with doing it online and recovering fully out loud, because I have just always hid, and hid my problems and pain, and just I'm not big on talking about, since Dr. Phil kind of shut me down, because it was like, okay, boom, you put all of your shit out there on national television. So then it's like, ooh, I'm just gonna clam up and just speak when it gets to a point of like, hey, this is like really crippling me, and then I'll talk about it. So I do know that I'm getting better with practice of like opening up and talking about it more and more, and it does feel good, and it does help me help others, which is like the goal, help another person, and it makes you feel better, and so it's just more of me practicing it, because it is something that is foreign to me. And then especially with having both my sisters now, like really talking about it all outward and on a daily reoccurrence, I'm like, okay, like it is possible. And they're my biggest fans, and they're like, Tiffany, you should you should talk about it more. You should this and that. And I'm like, it feels good to have that validation, because it is something that I've just been fearful of, because I've always just been better about hiding my pain.
See, and that's why this is so awesome to me, because all the different perspectives that we have, and I've been sober for a long time, and it's only the past year since I got introduced to some crazy blonde that I'm out and talking about this on social media, and Krista said, "Hey, let's just go on TikTok and read for 10 minutes," and now we're on there for 2 hours a day, and we get to genuinely help people. And it's changed my whole perspective on all of it. And, I was that, not a fan of social media before, social media recovery before. And, and now it's like, it's just a whole different ball game, because people can relate, and they can, get better because they're seeing your guys' journey, and they're watching you guys, and it's amazing. And we got Krista, who is the Recover Out Loud influencer. I'm telling you, she's a favorite for a lot of people, And how long you've been on? For 5 years doing this, right?
6.
No.
COVID.
Yeah, and I've been like following her since back then. Like, we've been friends on social media for like a long time.
Yeah. And I watched the whole sober girls group chat like develop, and like see all of them come together. But with Recover Out Loud, like there's such a release. Like it's pain to purpose, but like there's just a release of just sharing it out there, because you don't know who's gonna see it. Like I know so many people who are just, when they're down and maybe going through withdrawals or whatever, and they're just sitting there scrolling and like just praying for a sign. And what if like one of our videos is their sign they needed to see, because when I went on social media, I was desperate for prayers for my husband. I was about to lose him to addiction and possibly bury him. And I needed prayers, and I got them, and then I realized I had a platform, and I had to switch it up. And I'm like, you know what? And I'm watching Amanda and a bunch of the other girls just sharing their story and talking about recovery, like making videos about it. I'm like, wait a minute, I got a story to tell. Let me post my mugshot. And then it went viral, and it just went from there, And the messages you get like that are like, my mom's struggling, or my sister, or asking for advice, or they're just proud to say how far they've come, and they just want to tell someone. So it's cool.
No, Valeen left us.
We lost Valeen.
She left. Oh no, she's back. But it's so great that you brought that up, the Sober Girls group chat, right? Which, Amanda, you're a big part of, and you guys have all been a part of it, and you're friends with all these girls and stuff. And I love it, and love seeing what they have going on, because there's so much happiness and so much joy, and and I've requested to be a part of it like 6 times. I keep denied. I don't know why, but honestly, no, for no seriousness, watching you guys, just live life and be joyful and be grateful for your recovery. It's like we're girls, and we're pals, and doing what we do, but recovery first. And that's amazing to me. I mean, it really, really is. And so this whole, and now you guys, and the video you did with your mom, let's talk about it for a second. Let's talk about it for a second, because it was awesome, and it got like 100 billion views, and which is even better. Valeen, what did your mom think about doing this with you guys?
I mean, we didn't really think this out too much. Amanda was like, I found this sound. We're just gonna, make this TikTok real quick. That was the 3rd go at it, and I'm like 1 or 2 times and I'm done. So this is the 3rd time. We just did it, and we moved on with our life. And I didn't think, I mean, it's always the weirdest videos, But my mom is like, just so happy that we're all well, you know?
Yeah, like she just was like, oh, okay, like this thing. I'm like, we're like, Mom, you're just basically, we're like, Mom, we're just gonna sit here and we're gonna do this like sound. And the song is so catchy and it's real life. Like we used to, the sound is like, Mom, can you lend me $4? Like, you know, and can you lend me $20? And like, we would always ask her for money when we were getting high. So it just put like us in active addiction. And like a lot of people could like relate to that. Like, oh my gosh, like, yeah, you know, and the song is annoying but catchy. So like when it did hit, it hit like over 7 million views just on Instagram. And it was just like, oh my God, kind of like, you know, like Valeen said, it was just so silly, so dumb, so like little. But of course, people like argue in there, you know. And then there's a lot of comments that want to know, like, what? All three of you? Like, all three of you, like, are addicts? Like, that's crazy. Like, your poor mom. You know what I mean? And now and they want to know the story. They want to know how, what, why. So like, this is actually perfect timing that we're like, you know, here doing this, because there's so many people like, I'm so confused. What? And then a lot of comments, were you guys on Dr. Phil? Like, you know, there's a lot of things like that too. So it was silly and crazy.
So, Tiffany, being kind of a private person now, and you know, having a family of people recovering out loud, and they get kind of thrown into the mix. What does it feel like, you know, being involved in this one? You know, it's like I don't think you get a choice, right?
I got it. Of course, I get a choice. I mean, they just kind of bullied me a little bit, you know. But it's it's fine. I mean, at first it was kind of weird because I'm like, ooh. But now that I've been doing it every now and again, I'm like, okay, like it's funny. Like we made that video and we were literally like all together on a family vacation in Florida, and we were just like would like make random videos, you know, and it was just more fun, and like we would laugh and we were just like shooting the shit. And then yeah, when it got a bunch of views, I was like, holy crap. But also too, like it just makes it makes me want to strive to do it as well, because I mean, like I'm very proud of them, and I love to see them grow and, you know, preach online and help others. So it's like, yeah, I mean, exactly what Sober Barbie said. Like I got a story on me, and it's pretty wild. So it's like if I say something that could help another person in some way, shape, or form, like that's cool, you know. And I've always known that, but now it's like registering in my brain, especially like with the internet and social media being like in every aspect of every way of life. So it's like, yeah, I mean, I should open up and I should tell my story, because you know, someone definitely is going to be able to relate, especially now. Like, hey, I stopped smoking weed a couple months ago. It wasn't ruining my life. I didn't lie, steal, cheat. I wasn't a piece of shit, but it was like I needed to stop because I wanted the mental clarity and to live life and not have a vice, to like a crutch to change the way I feel in some way form. So it was like, it is different and it is an adjustment, but I am going to make the attempt to be better about it, because
Well, look at, you're on this. You came on this, doing this with us. That's huge, you know?
Yeah, this is I was very nervous about this, you know, very, because I respect you guys, and I just didn't want to be like, ooh, clam up, but I'm also like, okay, cool. Just be myself.
Absolutely, and you're doing great. And I'm so grateful that you're on here, and you're on here with your sisters. And you know, when you were talking about, you know, so we were on a trip and we're in Florida and we're having fun and we're doing our thing. These are the gifts of recovery, right? These are the gifts that we get. And so that segues into my next group question. What is the biggest gift that you've received in your recovery? And it can't be a relationship with my sister, because you guys would all say that. So Valeen, we'll go oldest to youngest.
Peace, because everything that I've ever done my whole life, and this is also in sobriety. Nothing was peaceful. I'm a spaz. Anything that happens, very dramatic. It's like, we go to 100 real quick. But peace, I problem solve. I have boundaries. My relationships are healthy. I'm healthy. I have healthy coping mechanisms. And that's what I mean by peace. Like I genuinely have peace of mind now. And bad stuff still happens all the time. Life always be lifing. But I'm able to handle them with peace now.
That's amazing, and you're the peace that we get, and because we all lived a life of chaos and craziness, and it can follow us, and I think peace is making a choice and setting those boundaries. I love that answer. Great answer, Amanda. What's yours? What's your biggest gift of recovery?
Probably. I mean, and I've always said like the freedom. Did you guys hear that? Hear that or no?
Yeah,
okay, probably. That's crazy. I don't know what that.
I think Tiffany ran over a cat or something like that. I don't know what
it sounded like. It's like a Tiff's just a confused face. Okay.
It sounds like a gremlin.
Okay. Biggest gift of my recovery, I would say, is like the freedom to just do like whatever, like for us to go on that vacation to Florida, like everything, my life revolved around like life interfered with my like getting loaded, you know what I mean? And that's all like I thought about, and it was a full-time job. I would never be able to do anything. We couldn't attend family events, do anything, so just being able to just do whatever I want, like, and then being able to like just get in bed, like Valeen said, like that peace, like when my head hits the pillow at night, and just having some peace and serenity in my life. And yeah, that's like the biggest gift.
Oh, that's beautiful. That's absolutely beautiful. Being present, being present for life, being present for family, being present for all of it. It's amazing. So Tiffany, I don't know. She was gonna say that her greatest thing was her cat, but she ran over.
Tiff, are you there?
Tiffany's got to come up with a new answer. Tiffany, what's the biggest thing since recovery?
No, you guys sound like Alvin and the Chipmunks right now.
Yeah, we heard like for a second like something.
Whoa! Oh boy! Yeah. So it's a gift of recovery. She gone. She ran over a cat. Krista,
she said we sound like Alvin and the Chipmunks.
Krista, what's your biggest gift of recovery?
I think being taken seriously, finally, for once. I was a joke for a long time. Today I get to go pick up the keys to my own sober living house. Like, what? They're giving me keys? What? I'm still like pinching myself. But just to be asked to like speak and
I don't know
just
what the
being
hell's
accountable,
That's so badass. That is so badass.
Yeah, that's congrats, Krista. That's awesome.
Thank you. I'm
big girl stuff.
Yeah. Like what? I wasn't even allowed in the bar. So,
Yeah, and that's also crazy that we're all like, like we have kids, we're in charge of like little people. Like
I know.
Thought that.
And they're celebrating birthdays, and they're still, like it's wild.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, it's so amazing. And, having you guys on here with us today is amazing. And, so we've got a new podcast. Oh, look at Tiffany's entering. Okay. Now there's going to be two Tiffany's, I think. Anyway.
The little sister. Okay. Always the little one.
So, so we have a new, this is Never Alone.
I lost you guys now.
Never Alone Live is, we do this every week, but we're started a new podcast, and you guys are going to come on our podcast and we're gonna watch some of the Dr. Phil episode and see your reactions after. Amanda, you've only watched it twice in 12
Yeah,
years.
and I'm pretty sure my sisters like did too. I'm pretty sure they've only watched it like twice too. Like once when it aired, and then like one other like time. We've seen clips of it, but like yeah, we've never watched it together. Actually, funny story, when we were all just in Florida, it was actually airing on the TV. But
Live?
Yeah, but we didn't like watch
Oh.
it. It was like live.
That's like
but
a sign.
Isn't that crazy?
That's wild.
So random.
We got text of pictures of like, you guys are on the TV like right now, like but yeah.
Donnie, you gotta watch it.
I'm gonna watch it with them. We're gonna do a podcast. I'm gonna watch it with them. They're gonna give their reactions. I'm gonna give my reaction. And I'm sure the whole time I'm gonna sit there like, wow.
I learned a lot.
I said a lot.
And I mean, but that's 12 years ago, you guys. That's that's the Tiffany, Valeen, and Amanda from 12 years ago. We're very fortunate. We get to know you guys now, and we're gonna experience what it was like 12 years ago. All right. So before we cut off, we have this platform. What do you want to say to people? We all recover out loud. We know that our sobriety is extremely important to us. But if you could talk to anybody, what are you going to say? Amanda, we'll start with you.
I mean, reach out, talk to anybody. So that like you're not alone in this. Like there's just so many people that struggle like in silence. Just like reach out, talk to anybody. Anything is possible. I just like want people to like believe in like themselves. Like I hate, because I was stuck in a cycle of like, I'm a piece of shit and this is just who I am forever, and just know that that's not who you have to be. You can change. I'm a strong believer of like when people say like people never change, people change, right, Tiff?
Yeah, I got it to work. You guys sounded like Alvin and the Chipmunks, and I couldn't get it to work.
You sounded like you were like running over a cat. Like that's why we were like laughing.
Yeah, I just tried everything. I didn't know what the hell just happened.
Oh,
we're back.
So
we're back.
Good. Amanda, thank you. Tiffany, before you run off, what is something that you want people to know? You got a platform, you got a message to put out there. What do you want to say to people?
Never give up. Don't give up. Just keep doing what you got to do for yourself. Focus on you, bettering your way of life. You can only control your actions, your behaviors, your reactions, the way you think. And once you just start fixing your mental, it takes the same amount of effort to be negative as it does just to be positive. And if you are what you attract. So it's like if you are poly-pissy pants all the time, then yeah, things are going to happen to you that will constantly piss you off. So it's just never give up and stay positive.
That's another hashtag.
Tiffany. Bars.
He's right. He's taking notes.
Yeah, Poly Pussy Pants. We had to write that down. Thank you for that. Valeen, you got a platform. You can say anything to the world. What is it?
She's gone again.
Poly Pussy Pants is exited. She dropped the mic with that one.
I think, goes along with never give up and, just keep trying. Over the years, I've had friends get sober and be in recovery, like, whatever the terms are, all different ways, and, nothing is the same for anybody. And we're 3 examples of that. We've all recovered differently. We do similar things, whatever, but just keep going, never give up, and, find what works for you until whatever it is sticks. Because there is always, and I had a friend who has a year sober now. He's on, Matt. And I told him a year ago, I was like, I promise you, like, things will get better. And they did. And he texted me like a few weeks ago and he said, you weren't lying. Things did get better. He's like, I didn't believe you. You know, and all I did was want to get high. And all I could say to him was, I'm so happy you didn't give up. You know, don't give up.
And I told you so.
And I told you so. And I did say that. Yes, I did
I
say
joke
that
and
too.
say that's why I'm in recovery. So I can tell you, I told you so. You know, because we're not wrong about this.
No. Amanda, you weren't wrong.
See?
And Amanda says, I told you so. So this
Yeah. You didn't get to say it, Amanda. You didn't say
I
it.
told you so.
I set you up.
This has been so fantastic. And I want to thank you guys for coming out here and sharing with us. I know that everybody's going to get something out of this. And love what you guys are doing. So keep doing what you're doing. And I can't wait. We're going to do a podcast. And not only we're going to go through the Dr. Phil, but we're going to do one-on-ones, and you guys can talk trash about the other two. And we're going to, this is going to start a whole family feud. And this is going to be
Like reality show, like a reality show.
yes.
Might be on to something.
This is
I'd
something.
be so good at this.
But thank you, you guys, and thank you everyone for listening in today. You know, God loves you, and so do we. And with that, we'll see you next week.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you for having us.
Yes.